Owning a property overseas can offer a variety of benefits and opportunities, depending upon one's personal circumstances and goals. Most of the people who chose to buy houses abroad tend to utilize them as vacation homes or second residences, while some treat it as an investment to diversify their portfolio and reduce risk by spreading assets across different economies. However, property prices across the world are soaring at an all-time high, making it incredibly difficult to buy a house for many. Nevertheless, there are still some countries where one can buy a modest mid-sized house in an urban setting packed with all the amenities of comfortable living at a reasonable price range. So in this video, we've listed the 12 best countries to buy a mid-sized house under the price range of $150,000. But bear in mind, some of these countries might not seem ideal, but then again, all of them come with their own pros and cons. Additionally, we've only mentioned those countries where listings of mid-sized houses are available near the main cities. So the obvious ones like Spain, Italy, and Portugal are excluded from this video, because availability of mid-sized houses under $150,000 in most of their metro cities are far-fetched. Furthermore, all of listed nations allow foreign nationals to invest in their real estate market. In fact, some of these even offer lucrative perks like tax incentives and lenient visa policies. Number 12. Turkey. Largely located in Western Asia with a small portion of Southeastern Europe, Turkey is a transcontinental country that boasts a very accommodating housing market for foreign investors. Buying property here is quite profitable as the country features a growing economy and high-profit ventures for business. Plus, investors also benefit from the favorable exchange rate between their currency and the Turkish lira. The country is also the fourth most visited in the world, which makes it ideal for people who want to invest in rental properties or Airbnbs, although $150,000 won't get you a mid-sized house right in the middle of an urban center like Istanbul, but one can quite certainly get a decent, well-furnished mid-sized house in the nearby adjoining areas or in other cities like Antalya or Izmir. Apart from this, its property taxes are almost non-existent, with yearly rates being around 0.1% of the original purchase value. The only downside to investing in Turkey is the current political instability, but then again, this barely affects the real estate market of the country. In addition to this, it's highly recommended to hire a very reputable realtor when purchasing. Number 11. Montenegro. A picturesque country located on the eastern coast of the Adriatic Sea, Montenegro is another pristine location for investing in residential properties. Investing in its real estate market is a very profitable venture as the economy of the country is growing each year, particularly its housing market. The annual property taxes in the country are also extremely low, amounting to only 0.3% to 1% of the purchase value of the property. Unlike many other European countries, it has several urban zones where one can buy a 2 to 3 bedroom mid-sized house within the price range of $150,000. Areas in and around Bar, Kotor, and even Budva provide many houses that fall in this range with all the necessary amenities for a comfortable life. On the downside, buying a property that sits on its own parcel of land, like a house, can be a bit tricky, but getting full ownership isn't that difficult as investors can easily acquire full reign through a registered company. And there are many reputable firms and realtors that assist international investors in this process. Number 10. Lithuania. Located in Northern Europe, Lithuania is one of the most underrated and the cheapest out of the 3 Baltic states. Despite its location in Northern Europe and being a member of the EU, its real estate market is very affordable, be it houses or apartments. This surprisingly even applies to its capital city of Vilnius. In fact, Vilnius is one of the cheapest European Union capitals to buy property. One can find a decent mid-sized house a bit away from its main city center for as low as $150,000, and it's not uncommon to find some offers at $120,000 even below if the property needs renovations. Outside of the main city, the prices are much lower. However, houses near the coastal part of the country can be a bit expensive, especially those with sea views. In addition, there are no restrictions or any sort of complications for foreign nationals to buy property in the country. On top of this, investors who buy a property worth at least $220,000 can apply for its residency. Number 9. Slovakia. A landlocked country located in Central Europe, Slovakia is one of the go-to places for any foreign investor looking to buy a house overseas. But better yet, it's very affordable and convenient, owing to its straightforward buying process and decent returns on investments. Foreigners can freely buy, sell, or rent properties as long as they have a residence permit card, which is relatively easy to obtain. Moreover, the paperwork to gain full ownership is also straightforward and easy, with the yearly tax rate being 0.25% of the total purchase value. Its capital city of Bratislava is no doubt expensive, but being a large city, it hosts lots of parts in its outskirts where average mid-sized houses are listed under $150,000. Aside from the capital, its lesser-known cities in the eastern parts are much cheaper, with median listing prices going as low as $100,000. Number 8. Albania. Wedged within the Ionian and Adriatic coastlines, Albania is a developing country with a growing economy and very affordable cost of living. Its real estate market is expected to grow exponentially, and foreign investors are highly accommodated by the government to aid in this venture. The property taxes and capital gains taxes in this country are also quite nominal, which makes investing even easier for someone looking to stay within a tight budget. Foreigners are allowed full freedom to buy houses and other properties in the country, with the exception of buying in the interior parts and near the borders. All in all, it's one of the few countries where one can easily buy a proper, well-furnished house, full with all necessary amenities in any major cities of the country under $150,000. Number 7. Georgia. A small country right at the intersection of Europe and Asia, Georgia scores well in all domains. Whether you want to obtain a second residency, start an offshore company, invest in real estate, open a bank account, or merely move to a tax-friendly jurisdiction, the country features no taxes on purchase and ownership of real estate properties, which makes it really attractive for foreign investors looking to maximize profits. On the flip side, housing prices in the country, specifically in its capital Tbilisi, are rapidly rising due to a high influx of affluent Russians moving there. But nonetheless, it's still viable to find a mid-sized house around the capital and even in its coastal city of Batumi under the price range of $150,000. Additionally, the economy of Georgia is slowly gaining ground with more and more foreign investors looking to do business here because of the government's lax policies and the accommodation provided by the local realtors. Number 6. Argentina. Located on the southern edge of the continent, Argentina might not be the first country that comes to mind when thinking about buying a house abroad, but in spite of its cons, the country's real estate has positioned itself at great prospects with very favorable prices for foreign investment. In addition, it has no federal tax on property. Most taxes are handled by individual provincial authorities based on a property's value, which comes out at a really low rate. Apart from this, there are lots of opportunities to buy relatively new furnished mid-sized houses in areas like Córdoba, San Juan, and Salta for $150,000. Whereas, if one opts to buy close to the capital, Buenos Aires, expect to pay double the price, as it's one of the most expensive cities in South America. But anyhow, Buenos Aires' outer region still has plenty of houses listed under $150,000. Number 5. Indonesia. A country in Southeast Asia and Oceania between the Indian and Pacific Oceans, Indonesia is a hotbed of untapped real estate markets. Although foreigners cannot outright buy property here under their own name, it's possible to get a local sponsor or a company to buy it for you, and local realtors can aid in this process. At first, this obstacle can turn away many investors, but then again, with its accelerating economic growth, high returns on investment, cheap property values, and growing consumer markets make it worthwhile to utilize on it. Furthermore, its property taxes are very minuscule, and it's very cheap to buy a well-furnished modern mid-sized house under $150,000 in any of its urban city centers, even in its main hotspots of Bali, Lombok, and Jawa. So, whether seeking a serene retreat or a dynamic urban lifestyle, buying a house in Indonesia can provide a harmonious blend of tropical allure and investment prospects. Number 4. Bulgaria. One of the most affordable countries in the European Union with the lowest income in the bloc, Bulgaria encompasses 230 miles of picturesque Black Sea coastline and breathtaking mountain ranges. Property prices in Bulgaria are pretty low overall, be it in the countryside by the seaside and even in the capital city of Sofia. Nowadays, the country is focusing on building a tourism industry and expanding its real estate market by attracting foreign customers with its investor-friendly reforms and near-zero property taxes. Foreigners are allowed freely to buy, sell, and even rent out properties here. Premium mid-sized houses can be easily bought in cities like Plovdiv, Varna, and other areas for well within $150,000, sometimes with money to spare. All things considered, it's an excellent investment destination for anyone looking to buy retirement or vocational homes on the Black Sea. Number 3. Mexico. Due to its easy access from the neighboring US and Canada, Mexico caters a growing real estate inventory with good infrastructure and a decent quality of life at a reasonable price. Vacation homeowners and expats are continuously flocking to its prominent cities like Cancun and Playa del Carmen, making the prices rise exponentially. But aside from these famous localities, there's a large variety of cities like San Miguel de Allende and Mérida, where median home prices for a mid-sized house are still under $150,000. When it comes to property tax, it generally ranges from under 2% to 4.5% of the assessed value at the time of purchase. But annual property tax is set by the government rarely go above $300. Additionally, buying a house here can also grant the investor and his spouse immediate residency in the country. Number 2. Mauritius. A small island nation located in the Indian Ocean and East Africa, Mauritius has been receiving lots of traction in its residential and commercial investments. The country offers no capital gains tax, property taxes, and very minimal income taxes, which makes it both a great place to invest in business and real estate. There's a rental income tax, but it only comes out at around 7% of the total passive income that comes out of renting out residential properties. For $150,000, one can easily get a decent mid-sized house in most parts of the nation, although be aware that the property prices in its main cities of Port Louis can be expensive. But as a whole, there's a whole wide range of affordable options available in most of its urban localities. Additionally, those who buy a property worth at least $350,000 can lead pathway to residency or citizenship. This can be particularly appealing to those investors and families seeking a second passport. Number 1. Ecuador. Located in the northwestern part of South America, Ecuador is a unique country encompassing everything from the Andes Mountains to pristine beaches and lush rainforests. The country's favorable property prices and relatively stable economy make it an enticing destination for those seeking a new home or investment opportunity in a welcoming and hospitable environment. In fact, it's rated as one of the best countries to buy affordable housing in South America. Its median home price is 5% lower than neighboring Colombia and almost 8% lower than Peru. Plus, the local currency in the country is US dollar, which means almost zero hassle for exchange. But bear in mind, not all parts of the country are ideal for buying a house, as the crime rates in major cities like Quito are high. Nonetheless, its coastal cities like Salinas are very safe for property investment, and one can easily get a decent mid-sized house under $150,000.